Hello Twin Flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy check. Welcome to my channel, whether you're new or you're coming back. Thank you for being with me on this 9/9 portal. As I'm recording this, I hear a bit of a noise from neighbors outside, so I apologize about that. If you can hear them too, they should disappear very soon. But anyways, it's the 9/9 portal. It's one of the big ones, as we are anything beyond the 8/8 portal up till the end of the year is pretty significant from a spirituality point of view, from learning certain lessons and transforming them into new ways of living, new ways of building relationships, new ways of achieving happiness and success. Number 9, as you would probably know from tarot, is one where it's like a cycle is close to completion. It's not exactly 10 yet, but it's 9. It's very close. So it's showing us already enough information for us to be able to consciously close the cycle, to connect the dots, to understand what it was actually all about. You know, maybe you were going through some emotional roller coaster or through some difficult relationship where you didn't even understand, like, why was this person that difficult? Or at first they seemed fine, but you know, all of a sudden, like this and this happened, right? Like, I don't even know how and why and what is this all about, right? At the 9 point of it, of the story, you already have an idea. You start seeing the background, you know, the backstory, the origin. It starts making sense. Not just starts, but it's actually, you are unfolding it, right? And it's up to you to then close the cycle, to get to that final point where you're like, okay, I get it, I've learned it, I'll know better next time, right? And that's the end of the cycle. And I feel like this is a great timing for it, as we're approaching a new moon in Virgo, new moon in Virgo on the 14th of September. So this is really powerful few days for you, not even just today, but few days for you to see what kind of lessons are coming up in your reality. But right now we will check what's going on with Twin Flame Collective, separately for feminines and for masculines. And I actually enjoyed the format. I've tried the last few days with different questions, and then I'm using 2 decks, the main one and the clarifier, so we'll do that today. I will start with the Oracle deck. Today is the Cosmic Journey. That will actually dictate some of the questions we're going to ask today. So let's get started. Let's get a card for Divine Feminines, and I'll be picking up the bottom card as well. Give us a little bit more context of what this 9/9 portal is about, what how can we use this energy? What can we unfold? What can we learn? What can we heal, for that matter? You know, this week is also when it's the last week of Mercury retrograde. So that's also an extra focus on communication and everything. But, you know, communication could be specifically triggering you in some ways. And again, this is where you can kind of roughly believe that we are at that 9 point of the Mercury retrograde timeline, where we're seeing clearly what has worked, what hasn't worked for us so far, and how we want to move forward. When the Mercury retrograde is over, we will feel that extra energy, extra inspiration and enthusiasm to build communication outwards, and that this is when you will need those lessons learned, that new wisdom, but new, more healed and evolved energy. You have every cycle is a higher opportunity. There we go, just talked about cycles. And you're perfectly imperfect. Yeah, so at this time, if you're 9s, if we go about tarot, sometimes they can show fears, right? But so that's like, if you take the story into consideration of the cycle, it's also part of the things that get illuminated at the end, because it may take a minute for us to admit certain fears. But this is for you to show yourself some love, even if you admit that if that crazy roller coaster of a ride with a person happened because I made some mistakes, or I let myself down this rabbit hole, although I did have some clear signs at the beginning that this is not gonna work out, right? Like, you start seeing your flaws in this as well. That's what it's supposed to show you, a mirror to your reality. Okay. Let's see what we have for the masculines. And yeah, remember that if you get disappointed about this current cycle or situation, this is the way to look at it. Is this was given to you to learn a new lesson, or maybe confirm or, you know, revise something from the earlier days, so maybe it was a little test for you, right? But this is only so that you can kind of jump off it, like off a trampoline, and go higher, go further. That's the reason, that's the point. Okay, so here we have right into this reality. Manifesting new stuff, creating your own happiness, not waiting around. You cannot pour from an empty cup. I love this. So this is like almost like your algorithm. Step number 1, step number 2, right? Work on self-love, self-worth, and then write your own story. Don't wait for the universe to bring everything to you, especially if you're not sure what that is, right? That's part of the writing, right? You're sending that message to the universe. This is what my happiness looks like. This is what I'm looking for. And you can be specific, especially if you start going down the details. For example, you found the person you want to be with, or you found the job of your dreams, right? Maybe the place where you want to work. Then go down into more detail and say, what is it that, how do I want this to unfold with my person? What would help me be more open and vulnerable myself? Or if it's a job, what kind of environment do I want to work in, right? What would be the definition of a happy workplace for me, right? You go down the details then. Okay. We are switching to tarot. So the first question I'm going to ask is, how is this 9-9 portal opening up the twins to lesson learning? What are they learning with this portal? And we'll get a card for feminine and a card for masculine. Sorry guys, I may need to. It really flew away pretty far, so I'll have to pick it up. Okay, we have one card for the feminines, one card for the masculines. And then the next question is going to be, so for feminines, we see about this cycle and being perfectly imperfect. So what is the main learning to take into the new cycle? And then for masculines, we will ask the question, how can I bring more self-worth and self-love into my reality? And then the third question is going to be, of course, about mutual feelings, right? Like how are feminines seeing the connection at this time, or what is the learning, and how are masculines seeing the connection at this time? Okay, bottom of the deck, we've got 8 of materials. This is 8 of pentacles, so really good energy for the twins wanting to work on themselves, on their life. You know, this is like that energy of like, okay, I'm taking charge, enough. And that's part of the whole North Node in Aries. I spoke about it for a couple of days now, so this is that energy. Okay, let's get clarifiers for all of the cards that are already pulled out. Hopefully I won't forget the questions. Bottom of the deck here, Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, it may take a while, you know, but this is like both of the cards of Pentacle energy, and we are in Virgo season, so it kind of matches that vibe, right? But the important part is keep making progress. That's what this Knight is, you know, good at. He keeps going no matter what, slowly but surely, and that's key. As long as you're making progress, even if it's a little bit, even if it feels like you walked 2 steps backwards first before taking 3 steps forward, it's still progress at the end of the day. And you know, some people, it can take years to make that kind of progress. So as twins, we're actually, well, I don't know if we can say we're lucky, but we are more guided, more blessed into the direction of quick transformation. so that it usually, because of the potential that we have, because of the mission we have in this incarnation, we usually move through these lessons much faster than the majority of people. So be thankful for that. So even if it's a painful cycle, it usually doesn't last too long, unless you make it last long, right? There is free will in everything, including how much you allow yourself to suffer or feel sorry for yourself or just feel hurt and abandoned in a situation. Okay, so feminines, what is this 9-9 portal telling you? What kind of lessons have been shown? We have the moon in reverse and 4 of swords. Yeah, so this is about balancing out the emotions in a nutshell, right? This is seeing where you still have work to do where it comes to emotional reaction to certain events, where still there are things that make you angry or very much upset, and you may even understand in the moment that it's not a wise reaction, or it's not really worth all that emotion, all that struggle, but it takes work for you to get to the point where it doesn't bother you, right? So that's the way really to see how, even when you get to this level of trigger, how can you find that balance? How can you transmute that energy quickly enough so it doesn't disrupt your activity, but shows you important highlights of what is still bothering you and why, right? Because that's your map of what to work on next, to where to look for clues on the personal journey. Look at that, the masculines have death clarified by the sun. Wow, this is huge. There's been so much work, that so much divine intervention is happening for the masculines at this time. And I feel like this is major, both in terms of self-love and manifestation of personal happiness, because the vision transforms of what it is like. Like, for some people, it's like 180 degrees difference in the direction, in the priorities, in the focus. And you know what? There's a lot of healing in the back of it. Sun is a lot about healing. So the transformation almost like happens because of a lot of healing that has happened. A lot more of ability to find joy or to understand what brings you joy in this life, right? I'm getting some people spending time in the sun even. I mean, it's summer, it's still the summer in the northern hemisphere, so who knows, maybe you spend a lot of time in the sun. For me personally, the sun itself, like being in the sun, spending time in the sun, definitely gives me a lot of that healing energy. It makes me feel good, like the warmth of it, the light itself, it's incredible. So why not? Okay, the second question for the feminines was about the cycle and what is supposed to be taken to the new cycle. What learning is important to take into the new cycle that's coming up. 2 of materials with 5 of wands. So do not get distracted with other people's BS, with other people's noise, with their struggle and suffering. And that includes, I'm getting, for some, it's more about the global level or the national level, you know, like political and economical events. We have lots of climate disasters these days all over the planet. For others, it's a little more personal. This could be what's going on in your extended family or in a workplace or in your building. You know, some people are just like in this energy and it's impacting you, or they want something from you. Like some of this experience can be more passive, where it's you who is buying into it or, you know, kind of accepting this energy. For others, it's a little bit more active, where people actually coming to you with their nonsense, or they want you to spend your energy and time with them on doing something that you don't really believe in, but you may feel an obligation to. So hopefully you've learned that that's not the way to do it. Otherwise it puts you into too much of a hustling mode, where you're trying to juggle a lot of things, keep them under control, but it's just draining you. It's not productive. You can't keep up with that for too long, right? So this is, again, coming back to like self-care and seeing that, yeah, maybe out of your empath empathetic nature, you want to help these people, you want to be of support, you want to make a contribution to make things better. But you know, you can't help everyone. You know, you can't be there for all of the conflicts and problems, right? So it's important to also understand what is feasible, what is realistic in the current reality, in your current reality. And that's what you're supposed to take with you, this knowledge, this wisdom, into the new cycle, because you'll need it there. For masculine, so yeah, we spoke about exercising self-love and self-worth. And look at that, another sun card, and it's gorgeous. I love it in this deck. Clarified by the Fool. Another 2 major arcans. Look at that. This is just a double confirmation of what I mentioned about divine intervention, more healing. That obviously that's what leads to having a better relationship with yourself. Trust in yourself, right? That's the Fool card, right? Stop playing those older scenarios in your head that somehow in the past made you feel like, you know, unworthy, or that this is not gonna get you anywhere, this is too ambitious, or no, this is not me, right? Like I know myself, this is not me, right? This is trusting more to, like, that's what the universe is bringing. I have a good feeling about it, it feels good, so why not go for it, even if I don't know how the story is gonna end. Beautiful. And now feelings towards each other, so feminine's feelings towards masculines. We have Knight of Voices with 2 of Pentacles, so another 2 of Pentacles here. So yes, that energy, that juggling that's been going on actually brings feminines to the understanding that there is some of that juggling happening in the emotional field. That's your Mercury retrograde, right? So there's like that inner conversation that keeps going about something that either happened in the past that hurt them or was confusing, or something that is happening in the dynamic right now that they don't understand. So the message is basically, we need to talk, right? Like, I really don't know where to go from here, right? Maybe you, because of the, like, through the retrogrades, you had your time and space to review certain events, certain conversations, and you're like, okay, well, now I have more visibility of what you were trying to tell me, or what your opinion is, right? But it's important now to get to the common denominator, to negotiate, to agree about how, like, our common vision and what we're gonna do next. Not just like leave it abandoned, but actually agree about something here. Masculine towards feminines, the Hierophant and 2 of Wands, another 2. I like this partnering numbers, the 2s, right? For masculines, they're looking at their values and which direction, and we had this energy yesterday, which direction to take on when it comes to the feminine, right? Like, they want their next step to be in alignment with what they believe in, not what their friends would do or what they used to do in the past, right? Because they're in this new healed energy. They're trying to approach it from the new place of, like, okay, what is healthy, or what is gonna get us into progress with this relationship, and not just like back and forth or being stomped at the same part, like hitting the same wall that maybe we've been hitting for a while, right? But it's also, I like the image here. It's very vulnerable figure. Like, usually Hierophant is very much like a priest in a very solemn setting, right? But this is like, no, I'm huge. Yeah, I feel this like big energy, like that this is big, that this is important, that I'm supposed to go deep on this. But I want to be vulnerable, and I want to be honest with myself, and not just take on what other people believe is right, even if it's somebody I trust. Like, maybe they've gotten some advice from, I don't know, a friend, a teacher, a father, a mentor, a therapist, somebody they trust. They're like, no, I still want this to be my decision, like with accordance to what I feel is the right thing to do, what my values are in this life. Beautiful. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it here. So a lot is going on. So take care of yourself, show yourself some grace. If you feel like you're a little bit stuck emotionally, do something, either take on, like, do something like a hobby, something that makes you happy without too much, without turning it into addiction if possible. You know, don't go crazy. Or do something physical, right? Get out of your head, do something with your body, take a walk, go for a dance, sing, I don't know, draw something, go to the gym, whatever it is, for whatever does it, whatever feels good, feels right now. This will also help. Maybe even drive somewhere, go for a hike, I don't know. Yeah, I'm talking about myself there. Driving is a physical exercise these days. Okay, anyways, I hope this was useful for you guys. Thank you so much for being with me. I love you all, and I'll be back with meridians very, very soon. Bye, everyone.